Welcome to Epilogue Podcast, the show where we discuss some stuff that happened on a different show ages ago which nobody really cares about anymore.
Hi, I'm Portponky.
And I'm LeBloc.
Today, we're discussing Deep Space Nine, Season 7, Episode 20, The Changing Face of Evil. The Dominion make massive gains in the war, only to be beset by an internal power struggle. How did you find this episode?
I found it great. I really like this episode. I continue
What a surprise.
to like this string of episodes. This is probably my favorite Kaiwin episode. They, in this season, have made me really enjoy Kaiwin and completely changed my opinion of Damar, so that's great to experience.
Damar has snapped. Big style.
He carries himself so differently. He has determination and purpose, and I love that Wei Yun noticed it and talked about it. That was good.
That's believable. People tend to experience the benefits of things once they're planned rather than when they're put into motion.
Well, he was so aimless before.
It was good that Wayne pressed him for a good couple minutes. It was screen time well spent because it's kind of tense.
And we have that knowledge why Damar has changed, and it's fun to watch Wei Yun not even consider anything terrible going on. He just thinks, oh, he finally realized how great we are. Isn't this nice?
Did he, though? Did he have his suspicions? He's quite insightful.
I don't think he knew the extent of what Damar was planning or had in motion.
He didn't expect this.
Right.
I think he just wanted to prod Damar just to see how he would react. Damar is solid, though, so no reactions there.
He does look weird without a bottle in his hand, though.
Does he? What?
I'm so used to seeing him drinking.
He looks different because he's standing up straight and smiling, and I think the lighting is slightly different.
Oh, I'm not saying the bottle accounts for why he looks different. I'm just saying I expect a bottle there.
Anyway, Kaiwin. I like how well Louise Fletcher can play the sort of internal struggle of her character here. There's a couple moments.
So good.
The one that stood out to me is when she goes to open the book, the Costumogin, and she has just this look like, I shouldn't do this.
There are a couple moments here where you think she might reject the paw rates and realize, oh, this is a bad idea. I don't want to do this. And that's one of them. And it's great to see that, as you said, she plays that internal struggle so well. And I also loved her impatience with everyone. That was really funny to me. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny, but it was. Which, your poetry sucks. Get out of here. I'm trying to concentrate.
That was good. That's what reading a whole bunch of books is actually like. It's not, okay, let's solve the mystery. 2 minutes later, yep, figured it out. Lots of reading, lots of paperwork.
Lots of drifting off into sleep.
Here's a weirdly minor thing. When the cat comes in to wake up Kaiwin, he sort of leans over her like he's going to say something and then changes his mind.
Yeah.
He's got his mouth open. Oh, it's weird. I got the no feeling pretty strong there.
People do that, though. They decide to do something and then think better of it.
It's not that. that weirds me out. It's just the idea that the cat thought of something and then decided that it would be a bit too weird.
Yeah,
What was that?
what in his mind is too weird?
Yeah. And that he started doing it. He got his leg up and like half squatted with his mouth open and then said, no. Even for me, this is a bit odd.
I also had a laugh when Kaiwin says he doesn't make those kinds of mistakes. I thought, what do you mean? The ones literally anyone could make? Anyone could grab the wrong book. That's really weird. She was just annoyed and being dismissive, but it made me laugh.
Well, I suppose she means he's very fastidious and careful.
That doesn't mean you're immune to mistakes.
He's an old monk. He's very wise. I don't think he would just casually bring the wrong, evil, forbidden tome. He would...
But he could.
Okay, yeah, he could.
He can't rule it out.
No, but it wouldn't be at the top of the list.
Who among us has not grabbed the wrong evil book?
Poor Sobor. A character that was introduced to get stepped on for the last few episodes, and now, first of all, punched, and then stabbed.
By the person he served. In the back. He literally got stabbed in the back.
It's not a metaphor. It's really happening, right in the back. I felt really bad for him when the cat punched him.
Yeah, he's so old and frail looking.
And he's an innocent old man. He's a monk.
He could have easily overpowered him. You didn't need to clock him in the face.
So out of place. Which is why it fits with the cat. He would just be unable to accurately gauge what kind of response is appropriate.
Right. He wouldn't know how to restrain himself.
Sometimes he acts tender, sometimes he lashes out. This was one of the lashing out situations where he decks him right in the face.
It's sad how loyal he is. He knows this is a horrible thing and he warns Kaiwin he shouldn't be doing this. But then he goes along with it because he has his faith and hopes it all works out. It's sad because then he dies.
If he were a bit smarter, he would have brought a few people with him.
The lesson here is don't be loyal, otherwise you'll be stabbed.
I think the lesson is if you find out that the Pope and Hitler are lovers and you're going to confront them, don't just go in by yourself unarmed. Take a couple of mates and maybe bring a knife or a gun. Well, it is Hitler. Not that Hitler actually did the stabbing. But, I mean, the cat would have already stabbed him if he thought he could get away with it.
Oh, for sure.
Cisco and Cassidy are a married couple. Did you notice that?
I did notice, and they had marital spats to remind us.
I think Cassidy was in the wrong to touch his peppers.
You should never touch a man's peppers.
Well, just that's his stuff. She could have replicated her own ones. It's not like she's good at cooking. If he was a painter and had like a rare and precious set of oil paints, he wouldn't bust them out and paint on one of his canvases.
I wanted to make you feel better by ruining your stuff. Because now you get to buy new stuff and have even better stuff.
He can't even buy new stuff. He had to grow them from scratch.
3 months, I think.
If the taste is that different, it's odd they don't have a portion of the station dedicated to farming ingredients.
It's probably impractical.
Oh, okay. Good thing they just create the ingredients atom by atom then. That's definitely more energy efficient.
The one part I liked in that plot line was when Cisco says, I can't talk you out of it, because of course he could talk her out of it. I felt like he said that to be polite, as in, yeah, I could change your mind, but we're married and I'm super persuasive, but I'll just let you have this one.
I don't know. I think he likes her. I think he married her because he can't talk her out of stuff.
She does challenge him, and I like that a lot because he needs that.
For all that Cassidy is kind of a non-character for a lot of the shows so far, like she's just a generic freighter captain / love interest, she has always been quite headstrong.
Yeah. Her defining characteristic is I like Cisco, but she is strong, which is easy to see Cisco finding attractive.
Worf and Esri return and have a lot of conversations, and Miles and Julian play with toys, also known as Bashir and O'Brien, when they're not playing with toys.
That was weird. They kept making the same joke. They're playing with toys.
I find it odd that Worf wasn't more into it. I mean, it is a famous battle, one that's very romanticized. It seems like the sort of thing he'd been to.
They touched on that slightly when he criticizes them and talks about what they should be doing. He obviously wants to contribute, and then Esri shuts him down. But it would have been better if he joined them and yelled at them and talked about this is not the Klingon way or whatever.
He said that there's no way to defend it against thousands of troops. That's not a very Klingon attitude. It's not about successfully defending it, although that's what they were brainstorming, I guess. But he should see the value of defending it, even though it's a hopeless battle, because there's honor in it.
Yes, but he takes the defeatist position because he wants to trivialize what specifically Bashir is doing. He wants to frame him as not a fit mate, so he'll try to make him look bad in any way he can. Oh, he plays with toys. Oh, his strategy is bad, etc.
He can't dance.
He has a big forehead. Well, so does Worf.
Yeah, he shouldn't open the forehead can of worms. Those four feel like the main kind of guys, the main cast. Weirdly, Odo and Kira don't seem to be in the show very much. I'm sure they still are just as much as they always have been, but they seem quite kind of complete in their story arcs, in some sense.
Yeah, they're done. There was a quick comment by Quark. Hey, don't get married to Kira. You'll argue because you've never argued before.
They've been done for a while, probably most of this season. To be honest, that's great. I don't think they should give characters screen time just for the sake of it.
Yeah, they shouldn't stretch a storyline arbitrarily. If it naturally concludes earlier, then go for it.
I suppose it's not really their war. Kira's Bajoran. She doesn't quite care. Okay, that's harsh. She does care, but it's not Bajor's war. And Odo is just awkwardly on the wrong team. By which I mean his family are the bad guys, and he's sort of hanging about with the other team.
And they've explored that, how he's on the wrong team. He doesn't want his family to perish. He does long for the Great Link. But that they did that. They covered that.
They covered that fairly extensively at the start of season 6. One thing we haven't quite mentioned is the second battle of the Chintoka system.
R.I.P. Defiant.
Yeah. Oh, also the Golden Gate Bridge as well.
Oh, I wanted to ask you about that. How did that strike you when that image was on screen?
Uh,
If it did
look,
at all.
I don't know, they trashed San Francisco. That's very
Yeah,
naughty of them.
it didn't stir anything in me. And I wonder if that's because I've been desensitized because since I think this aired before um, all the disaster movies came out, and
All of them.
well, yeah, they're done. They had a period where they made disaster movies, and now they stopped. No, where there was a spate of disaster movies, and it was The Thing, and you see
Oh,
famous landmarks being destroyed.
The Day After Tomorrow, 2012.
2012, yeah.
I think monuments and famous structures being destroyed doesn't carry much emotional weight because it's an overused visual and it's actually not something that happens very often, at least in real life.
Also, that was a military decision. Why would they attack the Golden Gate Bridge? That doesn't give them tactical advantage. Transporting stuff in the future has to be trivial. That bridge is probably there just as an iconic landmark. I doubt it's used for military purposes.
Starfleet HQ is in San Francisco. They maybe just weren't too picky with what they were shooting at.
Okay, they just bombarded the whole peninsula and the bridge got some of it.
Wayne did look at a map that had the San Francisco Bay Area with lots of red dots. Which is still weird having Wayne looking at a map of San Francisco Bay.
Yeah, that was weird.
It makes sense. It's just a lot of this is so removed from Earth that it's almost a fantasy world. For what it's worth, San Francisco getting trashed didn't mean anything to me compared to the Defiant being destroyed.
Yeah. Well, we have that moment with Cisco where he's standing at the entry of the bridge and wistfully looking at it.
It's a tough little ship, but the entire fleet got wiped.
He looked more sad about abandoning the Defiant than he did when he told Cassidy, I can't marry you.
Well, he could still be Cassidy's boyfriend. They could still be together.
Yeah, he can't
But
be the Defiant's boyfriend anymore.
no, yeah, it got blown into tiny bits. It'd take ages to put that back together.
Hey, he built that wooden ship.
Yeah, he also built the Defiant.
Oh, right, that would have been a better thing to point out.
It was pretty shocking to see the fleet get totally wiped by the Breen.
Yeah, the attack on San Francisco and them wiping out that fleet helped establish them as a formidable threat, which I struggled with before.
They have a lot of weird tech. They have some sort of zappy weapon, disabling weapon.
It even perplexed O'Brien. That's how you know it's uh weird.
He didn't have an answer. Yeah, he just wanted to go home, which I don't
Play
blame him.
Risk.
Yeah, no, Warhammer 40k, wasn't it?
Oh yeah.
One thing I didn't like was when Wayne says he's going to wipe out all the escape pods, the founder says, no, don't.
A better idea would have been to wipe out all of them except one.
A better idea would have been if she said, well, Odo might be on one of them. We don't know.
Oh yeah.
If he's there, we can't risk destroying them.
I keep forgetting that. And it seems the show wants me to forget that because that's such an easy way for them to escape any situation.
what she says does make sense. I mean, the real power in space is spaceships, and they just trashed a whole bunch of spaceships. Conquering people isn't hard, but then again, people do make the spaceships and pilot them. So destroying a whole bunch of people is not a high value target. I just wish they'd had a better justification, and Odo was the perfect thing to use. They would never risk destroying a bunch of escape pods if there was a chance that Odo was on one of them.
Which there was a chance, because they don't know.
Yeah, he could be. Then Wayun wouldn't need to say, oh, that's very clever, even though it makes no sense. He would just say, we must make sure all escape pods get back to Federation space. Yeah, he could say something like, oh, it'd be too much effort to search them all. Just chuck them back over the fence.
Let God sort them out.
I see what you did there. The final part of the episode. Damar started his uprising, his resistance.
That happened sooner than I thought it would. I thought we would see more behind the scenes stuff. I don't think we needed to. It was fine, but it surprised me.
I think Damar is not the only one that thinks like Damar thinks.
No. And they talked about, I forgot who, but it was in this episode how Cardassians are proud people and they wouldn't agree with what's happening to Cardassia.
His little friend, Gul Risot, I think.
And from what we've seen of Cardassia and Cardassians, that makes total sense.
They're extremely stubborn. It does make sense that he would launch his sort of insurgency before the Dominion gained too much ground.
You would want to do it as soon as possible.
The longer he waits, the more chance there is of being discovered, and also the more beat up and destroyed the Federation is. So he did attack already. Does feel a bit like he's jumping the gun. He talked about how the list of loyal soldiers would get longer. I can't imagine it's that much longer already.
No, it can't be. I got the sense he rushed it, but he needs to because of all the things we said. It doesn't serve him to sit on this.
Well, they trashed everyone at the Chintaka system. It seemed like a matter of time before they've conquered everyone. Damar is very much a person driven by the currents around him.
That's a great way of putting it.
It's why he's so frustrated all the time, because he's very sure of what he wants, but he can't ever get it. He's always being led rather than being the leader. Now he's had enough and he's being the leader, but again, it's because he almost has no choice. He can't wait and he can't do nothing.
It's interesting that as a follower, he was driven by the currents. And then now as a leader, it's still the same force. It's the situation forcing him to be a leader and take these actions.
He's a leader by necessity rather than by choice at this point.
And so far, he's pretty good at it.
He's a competent guy. I think we say this every week now. Would you like to share a quote from the show with us?
I call upon Cardassians everywhere. Resist. Resist today. Resist tomorrow. Resist till the last Dominion soldier has been driven from our soil.
I love it. I love the speeches that broadcast to everyone, and you see other people seeing them in different places. That feels like real politics when that sort of thing happens.
Even I want to resist, and I'm not a Cardassian. As far as I know.
The writing of that speech very much reminded me of Babylon 5.
Why is that?
there's a lot of political intrigue and stuff in Babylon 5, and it's very well written. Certainly, there's a lot of speeches, and they're usually quite passionately put together. It really makes you feel for Damar. He wants what's best for his people. It's like a real speech of a leader. I don't mean that's a good thing. Obviously, it should be. That's what he is in the show. But a lot of the speeches are a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, sometimes they fall flat, but this felt like an actual impassioned speech.
There's a reason why leaders have people who specifically write speeches for them, because they need to give this kind of performance regularly. And I understand why on a show not every speech comes off like it's written by a speechwriter, because that would be quite expensive and kind of needless. But when it works, it feels good.
If this is the kind of quality we get, I want more Damar speeches.
It's quickly becoming Damar Space Nine.
He's not even near the station, though.
So it's better than saying it's becoming the Damar Show. Actually, no, that does make more sense. We should watch the next episode of the Damar Show.
We should.
See what crazy hijinks he gets up to next. How will he prank Wayoon?
By murdering him?
Well, that would be quite a prank, wouldn't it? I was thinking maybe putting barbecue sauce in his shoes or something.
No.
Oh, okay, just putting murder in his body.
Yeah.
He murdered his future clones.
It's tradition. He has to murder Wayoon. He has no choice. He's driven by the currents.
He really hates Wayoon. Okay, let's see what pranks Damar pulls next week. I can't wait. This show is amazing at this point.
It is. I love it.
Let's go.
Yay!
Yeah. Hooray!